Hi, Statesmen Nation. Welcome to another season preview as we sit down with Cameron Foster of the men's bowling team. Coach Foster, appreciate you coming in for a few minutes. I know you guys are getting ready to hit the road in a couple days for the first tournament of the year. But before we talk about this year, let's recap an awesome 21-22 campaign that ended up with you guys finishing third in USBC Nationals. So talk about last year a little bit.
Last year, I won't lie, I was kind of, I walked into a good team already.
Yeah.
A lot of it was just building up to that final few postseason tournaments. Is just, the guys learning the guys and them learning me as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a coach change is never easy for anyone, so it took some time for them to build that trust between each other, but it showed over the course of the season. They started trusting me more and more, and I started trusting them more and more, and obviously, the end result wrote itself. We were able to come together as a team at the end of the year, and we fought hard, and we made a statement, and we were one win away from making the big show. So
Right. Obviously, a lot of talent on that team, a lot of old talent on that team, a lot of experience. That experience has now departed with graduation, but talk about the recruiting trail and trying to replace, obviously not immediate replacements of some of those guys. I mean, you maybe get some really good freshmen in or, transfers, but guys that maybe aren't going to step in immediately, but hopefully you expect that will grow into what you had of, the Kostrick brothers and, and Dudley and Freeze, et cetera.
Yeah.
So talk about, what you were looking for and what you found on the recruiting trail.
So on the recruiting side, I won't lie, that was one thing I was worried about coming in. I've never done it, but I was able to get some good hidden talent, I would say. One, we got a kid that's coming to us from Ireland. I think he's going to be a big asset right off the bat. He's going to bring basically what the Kostricks brought us. He's got all the international experience.
Right.
Being from Europe, everything they do is international. They're
Mm-hmm.
going from country to country to compete, and he bowls for his national team itself. So
Mm-hmm.
he's bringing a lot of experience in. So, and it's all with teams, so that will help out tremendously. We got a couple guys that I foresee them stepping up and being key aspects. We'll see how they do in JVs and everything, but local kids within the area. Ethan Zglowski,
Sure.
I don't know how to say his last name, but he had a lot of success in his high school days, and he's got some hidden talent that we just tap into that, and I think he's going to be helpful. Riley from Ottumwa, the same thing. He's got a nice basic game that I think we can, just with some tweaks here and there, I could see him being a good contributor in the future. And there's some other guys that, I think with the right mindset and development, some guys, we got a new guy from Iowa Central. He's bringing experience, and with some tweaks and getting him more comfortable with us, I can see him, he might make his way up there by the end of the year because he's already got the experience coming from college bowling.
Mm-hmm.
So I have expectations. I see him wheezing his way up in there for sure.
Sure. Returning wise, again, we said we lost a lot, but there's still a very full cabinet there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of talent. Guys that have been at the varsity level, guys that have been all conference. So let's talk about some of those individuals.
Jake and Jason, those two are going to be huge contributors right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be, I think, guys that everyone looks up to. They're going to be the leaders on the lanes. Not to put that pressure on them, but they're definitely going to be the ones people look up to.
Alexander Kostrick. I really looked up to him last year. Just taking some notes because I knew that this year is my year to step up and be that leader. With new leadership, it's a big role. Having the younger, we got such a young group that just came in. Just got to have them look up to me so I can leave them some footsteps they can trace when they get up to where I'm at. I've been here for 5 years, so. With the new, very, very young, and there's a lot of talent there. I told Cam, I think the other day, is they got I'll give them this year to get the feel for things. I'm not saying, I think we're going to be really good. We're just going to have to work a little harder than we have in the past couple years. I told him, I said, give him guys 2 years. This program's going to be in the top 10, at least. We got Cody, one of my best friends from high school. He got him right next to me, so that's going to have a good feeling. Jason, he's always been a star. Connor from Ireland, he's a big impact. Who else we got? Jared, he got some varsity reps last year and actually made one of the biggest spares at nationals last year to keep us alive. Caleb Stervin, he's bowled a couple JV. He'll be a big impact. Bryce. Oh, Bryce, yeah. Most of you guys know that he shot 300 JV. He's going to be taking up one of Billy, Xander, Ryan's spots. I think we're going to have a great year. I told him, I said, this first tournament's to take notes, see what we need to work on because we're so young. But I've got high standards, and I know we can meet them.
I mean, I think Bryce has proven a lot over last year. Over the summer, he had some good successes in his own individualism tournaments that he was doing, and he's just continuing to show that he's getting better. So Bryce is going to be huge this year. And then Jared, Jared was is a returner from varsity last year, and he's always working on his game, trying to get better. And I think Jared's going to continue to be that contributor last year. I mean, I think he was not given as many opportunities last year as I should have given him, and this year I'm hoping to be able to grow more as a coach because again, last year I think I was spoiled with already some of those experienced, seasoned guys that I didn't give the guys I should have given chance. So this year's going to be nice to help not only them grow, but help me grow too.
Right, definitely. Any other, I want to say for lack of a better term, dark horse guys that you're like, wow, they've really surprised me in the early weeks that, anybody else, I guess?
So Connor Risi, I think he's gonna surprise us. I mean, last year he put in a lot of effort. This year already starting to show. So I think he's one that again can wheeze his way up in there. Trying to think of my roster right now.
Right.
I think again another guy that we had on the team last year that I think once he starts getting back into the groove of things is Nate Hansen, because he's another Iowa Central kid that he's coming with experience. I mean, he was on a NGA or the National Junior College Championship team.
Yep.
So he's already got the experience. Last year he just battled some injuries that kind of he faded away a little bit, but I think getting back into the groove of things, I think he's another one that can get himself back in the mix.
Sure. Schedule-wise, I understand you guys have gone with a little bit different schedule, knowing that you obviously had to work around the lanes here, getting new lanes at Statesmen lanes and everything to prepare yourself for obviously all of these sport lanes and all that. But let's talk about the schedule and how it's going to prepare you for the end of the season when you're looking at making a deep run postseason.
So schedule-wise, I mean, we are starting a little bit later because of the lane install, but I think strength-wise, we're about as strong still. We're still starting our season off with a big tournament right out the gates, and it's going to be a good test. I mean, my expectations this tournament is just, I want my guys to go out and have fun, get the experience, focus on spares. Is one thing our team learned a lot last year. Spares made or break us. So that's going to be my main key this coming weekend is, just get comfortable out there. Yeah, strength-wise, I think we're about as strong as last year schedule-wise. We didn't really mix it up as far as strength of schedule. We didn't add really any weaker tournaments, I would say. I mean, there's always going to be those tough teams to beat at any tournament. Sure. So Vegas is going to have another good test. That'll be our next 2 tier 1s after this weekend. So we'll have 3 tournaments in between to really prepare us after this weekend, see what we need to work on and prepare ourselves. Leading into the season, I'd say the strength of our schedule is pretty good.
Yeah. All right, conference-wise, obviously not the only goal that you guys have is to win conference, but it is a goal for sure, and a lot of bragging rights there, and obviously also an automatic berth to NAIA National. So where do you figure you guys fall into the conference mix? So
conference-wise, I think we're still going to be a force there. Obviously, last year we were the heavy favorite. This year, we might not be the heavy favorite, but I still think we're a favorite. I mean, I don't know how the recruiting classes were for the other teams, but I know like Peru State, they already had a talented team, and I don't think they lost anybody, so they're going to be one to look out for this year for sure. Grandview, I mean, obviously they beat us last year, so they're going to be tough. Culver Stockton, I know the coach down there very well, and he's always working hard on getting his team prepared, and so I think this year there's not any one team that's a heavy favorite. Where last year I think it was hands down we were, and unfortunately we didn't win. Right. I think maybe that got to us, but it drove us into the postseason. Right. Hey, we need to get better. So.
Yeah. let's put a nice bow on it all. It's a long year with a new team that we say new, but it's not that new. There's a lot of like more JV guys that are moving into varsity spots. Obviously, you do have some new individuals to the program, but long year, giving yourselves a lot of opportunities to grow as the year goes on. Like you said, what's it going to take for you guys to reach your potential by year's end?
By year's end, I think it's just everyone coming together, everyone with the same goals in mind. Team chemistry is always big in college bowling. I mean, one person can bring a team down, and last year we had a really good team chemistry. This year, I feel like we're still going to have that, but I think one thing I like this year is I could experiment a lot more. I mean, there's going to be guys that are probably going to be bouncing back and forth between JV and varsity just to give different experiences. Because ultimately, by February is when we like to have that set schedule ready, because now we're getting ready in the heart of the postseason. So come February, we'll probably have a really good idea, but I really like this year with the experiments that we get to do and help me grow as a coach and get to see potential of kids that I didn't get to see last year, because unfortunately with JV tournaments, I would never got to be there because we're at different centers a lot. So if we weren't if we were different centers, I definitely couldn't see them bowl. So I'm actually excited for this year. It's gonna be a nice change.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Once again, Coach Cameron Foster and men's bowling team. They are at the Mid-States Championships down in Wichita, Kansas this weekend. Big Tier 1 to start the year. A lot of tournaments coming down the pipe. So we will keep you abreast of all of that, all the upcoming tournaments, all of their results, all of that on statesmanathletics.com. Make sure you check out all of our social media accounts as well. But best of luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Go get them.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.